Oh, yes. The story about the time Israel got rescued by the son of a hooker and his merry band of misfits.
You serious?
Okay, today we're going to be talking about a guy named Jephthah. Most of you guys know of Jephthah probably because of the dumb vow that he made to God about sacrificing his daughter. So instead of looking at that, we're going to look at the rest of his story because it's got some pretty cool stuff in it. Jephthah was the son of a harlot. I'm not being rude, that's just what the Bible says. Jephthah's dad and his dad's wife, they had some more sons. Whenever they got older, they ran Jephthah off because they didn't want him getting part of their inheritance.
Nobody wants you in this town. Nobody wants you around, period.
So Jephthah takes off on his own. He winds up in the land of Tob, maybe the land of Tob, depends on who's telling this story. But Jephthah was a scrappy cat. You know, he could throw them hands, he could fight. And the Bible says that a bunch of worthless fellows surrounded him, or some versions say vain fellows. Either way you read it, basically, these guys were marauders. Some people say that they were mercenaries. Either way you turn it, these were bad guys. They were tough guys that didn't want to work for a living, so they just took what they wanted. Basically, they were like politicians, only they could fight. So that's who Jephthah's hanging out with nowadays. Meanwhile, Israel is once again being oppressed by another group of inbred cousins, the Ammonites. If you don't catch that reference, go look at my other video, and you'll understand what's going on there.
Inbreeders.
But seriously, that's a lot of inbreeding. I mean, what kind of place is this? Anyway, the guys from Jephthah's old hometown, they're afraid of the Ammonites, so they come a-calling on Jephthah to come with his gang, and they want them to run them off. So Jephthah's like, wait a minute, you didn't want me back when I was younger, but now all of a sudden you're coming to me because you want me to fight your battles? And they're like, yep, but we'll make you our leader if you do it.
Then we have a deal.
So Jephthah's like, right on. And he goes off with them. Instead of trying to battle the inbred pagans in the beginning, he tries to be diplomatic about it. He's like, so why exactly are you wanting to fight us? The Ammonite king says, because you remember back whenever you guys were coming out of Egypt, you stole our land. To this, Jephthah says, you mean like 330 years ago? Yeah, I wasn't there, but I do know the history. You see, we asked if we could cross over onto your land, but you said no, so we had to take a detour. It took a little while. You've possibly heard about it. It was recorded in Exodus. You should go check that out.
Ugh. Idiot.
But yeah, eventually the Lord delivered this land into our hands, and if you really want it back, then I guess we have a situation now, don't we? So what do you want to do about it? And you can imagine how the Ammonite king responded to that.
Let's get it on!
Here's something that has to be noted. Anytime in the Bible when you see the phrase, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, just know that that means someone is about to tote a whipping. Well, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah. Well, he went out and stomped the Ammonites, and it wasn't long after that that the men of Ephraim came a-calling. These were the people who occupied the same land as Jephthah and the Gileadites, and they were like, why did you go fight the Ammonites without calling us? Jephthah was like, we did call, you didn't answer, so we had to handle our own business, so what's up? And the Ephraimites were like, what's up? And Jephthah was like,
Say when.
probably. Next thing you know, Jephthah and the Sons of Anarchy put a beat down on these guys as well because, and this is the funny part, and I quote, because they said, you are fugitives of Ephraim, O Gileads, in the midst of Ephraim and out of the midst of Manasseh. That's Old Testament speak for, you guys are running scared in this land. That's the reason Jephthah and these guys killed these people. Guys, what I'm trying to tell you is, Jephthah and his men killed the Ephraimites because they called them scaredy cats.
Nobody calls me yellow.
So not only do they beat them and kill them, they sit at the river crossing and challenge anyone who wants to cross the river because apparently the Ephraimites had a speech impediment or a bad accent, and they couldn't say the word flood the same way as the Gileadites. And if they messed it up, then Jephthah and them knew that they were Ephraimites, so they killed them. And the Bible says that they had killed about 42,000 people to this point.
Say what?
After that, Jephthah led Israel for about 6 years before he died. So you see, there was a lot more to the story than just the tragic vow that he made that ended in the death of his daughter. But for some reason, that's what gets talked about all the time. So that's the story of Jephthah. If you know any other stories that you want me to tell, or you're curious about anything, let me know. Comment below. Please like and subscribe. Still, the production's going to get better. Room's a little cleaner. Trying to get my office straight. Got a lot going on. Anyway, I got to go inside where it's cooler. I live in South Louisiana. It's hotter than Satan's armpit out here. Stay prayed up. I love you. God bless. It's taco night. I got to go.